All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to How Times Change every Wednesday at 1 East. This show is about social norms and history. I'm my co-host, resident historian, and your hood historian, Mira and Nikki. We're gonna get down on the topic today. Is the cost of freedom. So I don't know. I was trying to. I don't want to say avoid Fourth of July kind of topic, but I encountered something yesterday which kind of pushed forward to go ahead and get into it. So we're gonna have some fun today. Normal, so keep engaged, comment and all that good stuff. And if you're a guest on the show, you can hit the box and we can get started. And I don't got missed anybody specifically that said anything, right? No, so every hey, I see you, Nikki, a dope show, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, or heard through history. You got a problem with ladies, so no over there.
Yeah.
All right. So Taney, Tawag, and Ace, guys can request the box. Let's get into our intros and everything. We'll go with Miss Taney first. Got the electric strap on, real classic, lax fit. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm Taney, part of State Nation and N4W.
All right, I'm Ace. Founder and CEO of Spade Nation. I stream daily, every day, all day. You can come catch me, come fade me up. I'm running for top badge pretty soon. I appreciate you all coming out.
For sure. All right, CEO.
TawagCEO, excuse me. Honestly, just a businessman in streamers world. Most likely, I've done some of your favorite streamers' videos, graphics, things of that nature. And I'm just here to support Mayor and get into this topic.
Okay, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Just trying to be okay.
All right, welcome back, Nikki. All right, you guys, we're going to get into our topic and everything. So, just the first little filler question. Like always, just ask the most basic thing. We'll start today. What do you think about the word freedom?
When I think of when I hear the word freedom, I think of the word, I think of being free, not having no boundaries, feeling good to do whatever you please, pretty much.
Dope. Ace, what you think of freedom?
I think freedom is perceived by everybody individually in a different way, because I don't believe like freedom is really like nobody, like it says, like nobody is really free. That's kind of how I believe to stick with it. Like everything costs.
Everything at a price. What's up, man? What you thinking?
Well, when I think about freedom, honestly, a little bit of what everybody said, but just having that free will to do as you please, but at the same time with constraint to know, okay, this is right, this is wrong, or whatever the case. And just basically being an adult.
Okay, we're not going to Nikki because we know she gonna hit the she probably got like something already prepared, All right, Nikki, go ahead. Freedom. Let's take away.
Takeaway. I think Stoney, you said it. It's never free. Freedom is never free in human society, and that's the one thing that sticks with me when I think about it. It's never fully free, and it's contingent on other people's definitions. So it's interesting. Freedom is interesting. It's relative.
Right.
So, definition, you look it up in the dictionary, freedom, the power, the right, the act, to speak whatever one wants to say without hindrance from anyone else or retaliation.
Freedom ain't free.
You're in America right now, you got so many restrictions, as Nikki said, so it's definitely not free.
Yeah. All right. So, I'm gonna get back to my notes. Do you guys have a specific person or anything like that you think of when it comes to freedom, besides Martin Luther King, right? Yeah, we always have to exclude him because everybody learned about him, right? So, Ace, you think about anybody else besides MLK?
For me, it would be anybody that's passed away. They are the ones that get to experience true freedom. Um, they don't have to worry about that stuff we got to worry about. Because on this earth, freedom, there's no type of, nobody's free on this earth. That's how I feel.
Hmm.
You ain't free until you.
That's a good way to look at that. That's a good way to look at that.
And honestly, not to cut you off, to piggyback off of him, I'm Muslim, so when we talk as far as like on the Jannah, which is heaven, it's like right here now is just a test, and that's why you're going through all the ups and downs, things like this. So when you go up there, it's like you're really truly experiencing heaven and the freedom of being able to do everything that you want to do.
Right, for sure. Taney, what you think of a specific
Honestly,
person?
I think of myself because I'm a product of myself. So it's like, if I'm in control of certain actions, then I can do what I need to do to free myself.
Empower her.
So I'm coming with a woman here. I'm coming with a woman. I'm actually reading a book right now, Abolition and Feminism. I think I'm messing up the title. It's a new book with Angela Davis and some other scholars in there. And so when I think about freedom right now, Angela Davis really is on my mind. Like a year ago, I took my daughter to go see her speak. So that was really powerful. But she's really about like the abolition of isms, really, whether it's racism, prison, sexism, those type of things. And she kind of looks at how like all of these oppressions that humans have created are tied together to restrict our freedom of just being, our freedom to speak, our freedom to exist, whether it's to work, whether it's to be the person that you choose to define. So she really represents that person. She's someone who, was alive around MLK's time, right? She's been through the Black Panther struggle. She's still alive and she's still fighting through that. So I think she's a living, breathing person who's still out there doing that work that a lot of people don't even really think about today. It really exemplifies what it means to be free and to fight for freedom continuously.
For sure.
Amir, honestly, as a person, honestly, I would say from my perspective, Marcus Garvey, who I've learned a lot more from Dr. Umar Johnson, and with Marcus Garvey being from same island from Jamaica, and to learn what he did, and especially in a similar sense as far as like even Martin Luther King, but for the Caribbean people, that was courageous and crazy, especially during that time era.
For sure. And even asking you guys the question, I had to try to think of a person myself, and it actually became hard. But Prince Hall, for me, I don't know, a lot of people might not know, I'm a Freemason, 14 years. So Prince Hall was the first pretty much Black Freemason, started African Lodge number 1 underneath England, like everybody starts underneath England. But just going through him and the first original 13, fighting for civil rights and different things that we all can do the same practices, whether it's a club, charities, different things like that. So, and then my second one, because I always had to be a Crispus Attucks, first man shot in the Boston Tea Party. So they only highlight that aspect of him getting shot, but why did he get shot? Who was he as a person? What did he fight for? Why was he on the front line as a Black man in something that seemed like a white conflict? So, yeah, I'll check that out. If you guys have it.
This Attucks, you better check it out. Google it later tonight. He ain't playing right there.
Yeah, right. All right. So, Ace, we know that freedom isn't actually free, right? So, what do you feel like? If we truly have freedom of choice, what would the world look like?
Nobody would have any bills. Nobody would have any real responsibilities. Nobody would. Everybody just be living like day to day to make each other happy, about worrying about other things instead of taking care of like responsibilities. That's basically what it would be for me. Not having someone to answer to. Because I believe like everybody has somebody to answer to. Even the CEOs got an answer to the government. The government system's answering to somebody that like check in other states, or it's somebody answering to somebody.
For sure. Taney, what you thinking? Complete freedom of choice.
I'm gonna go 50-50. I think it's gonna be chaotic and then peaceful, to be honest with you, because a lot of people don't think the same way. So it's not gonna always be unison. And then you got your peaceful thinkers that think for just peaceful people. Then you're gonna have the people that are opposed to it. So yeah, I think it's gonna be chaotic and peaceful, how it is today.
Right. It's chaotic and peaceful. We just got rules. So
Yep. And
so
consequences. If there's no consequences, get ready for the chaos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
nobody to govern. The purge every day.
The purge. Definitely the purge.
All right, my brother, freedom of choice, completely.
Playing devil's advocate, and even inserting some of what Taney said as well. It's really dependent on the people, because you're not going to have a lot of people that's going to think logically as far as knowing, okay, you're free to do this and the fourth, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, are you going to be stupid enough to commit this violence or do this or do that you know is going to create a big consequence or do this and forth? So you're not going to have those logical people that's going to think like that. Then it's going to be a lot of chaos, and it may be crazy. Whereas it may be one of those TV shows, whereas you may have part of the world that's thinking logically and the other thing can purge. So.
All right. You know, it'll go into camps. Everybody will start building camps and breaking off into groups, social groups, and you know, everything has, like, every time we watch a movie or we see something like Doomsday-ish, there's always a group of people who they're just like regular citizens that stick together, and they always have the higher hierarchy, the government, they have their walls and everything to shield them from the lower class. It's always chaos, where it's like Mad Max or The Walking Dead or different things like that. We always see the same thing. So if we're depicting that on TV, we can almost guarantee that if something was to happen like that, we're going to fall into chaos the same exact way we already see it. All right, Nikki, complete freedom of choice.
I'm waiting for her answer too.
Y'all all said this, so I'm just going to tie it back to a philosopher before we had television, before we had internet, all of those things, right? Hobbes, 17th, what century was that? But Hobbes basically describes that absolute freedom would be everyone living in the state of nature, right? So you would have this absolute perfect freedom to do whatever you wanted, but at the exact same time, you would have utter fear and chaos, right? And so Hobbes basically says the reason why we have a government, the reason why we have rules, is because in absolute freedom, everyone is allowed to do absolutely what they want to do. They can come over and knock you over the head, take everything you work for, take your kids, take your wife, take your husband, murder you, kill, do all of those things. And so, it's the yin and the yang. If you have absolute freedom, you have to have absolute chaos. And so I don't think that I would want to live in a place that had absolute freedom unless I could define what that freedom was.
All right. So John F. Kennedy, one of our great presidents, said the cost of freedom is always high, but Americans always pay it. And one path that we shall never choose is the path of surrendering or being submissive. So Nikki, we gonna
Yo, you trying to get in those weeds right there? Can you repeat that once again so that everyone hears it all the way through? With the American part emphasized.
Right. That was pretty much the main part. The cost of freedom is always high, but America always has to pay it. And one path we shall never choose is the path of surrender or submission.
So there's so much things in there that I definitely do find problematic. But the fact that I can sit on this platform and say that is exactly what he's saying, right? So, I don't think that America has to be this beacon of democracy, this beacon of freedom to the world, right? I do think that people have the right to, the word just self-government, right? You have the right to your own religion, your own autonomy as a people, as a group, to decide what's best for your society. But at the same time, I am able to have that belief. I'm able to speak about that belief. I'm able to speak about me having freedom and the freedom to choose what I want to do, what I want to say, who I want to marry, whether or not I want to have children. I have that freedom because I live in the United States. I don't know how I would feel somewhere else if I was a woman born in a country where I was not unable to get an education. And I happen to be good at that. I happen to excel at that, or math or science or any of those things. I'm not sure how I would feel if I was restricted because of that. So it's a double-edged sword. It's the yin and the yang. I do believe that America is at the forefront of what we call democracy. Whether or not we want to believe it or not, we are the only heterogeneous society, right? We're the most heterogeneous society that exists on this earth, meaning we have the most diverse racially, religiously, gender, all of those things, and we have made it work, and other countries can't do that. Mostly they have the same religion, they speak the same language, and they look the same if you've traveled around the world. The United States is the only place where human beings of different backgrounds have come together and have been able to live peacefully for this long. And I know that we have problems with the freedoms here, but we're the only place that has gotten it right. So I feel torn with his statement, because look at all the wars that we've caused. Look at all the trouble that we've spread around the world. Look at how we've treated our own citizens here on this soil. It's very interesting.
Think of America as they go around, all your friends are lined up, and America comes and gives everybody a rock, and then steps back to see what everybody does with it, and then they come in with a boulder, you know. All right. So, all right. I wasn't trying to go this way. I was, but being that we're all of some kind of ethnic background in here, when it started, we'll say the Declaration of Independence, 1776, they pretty much the English fighting the English to be free, right? Now, I had talked about it yesterday with a friend. We were talking about Ida B. Wells, right? And how African Americans fight against being lynched, right? So when you speak to a lot of African Americans about getting lynched, do you feel that we take into consideration that other races were getting lynched also, or we just only focus on ourselves? So Ace, just 'cause I like aces, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start with you.
I think we focus on our race mainly because we see it happening to us, like it's our family, and for the longest time we have been like held down like animals, like less than animals, like. So the fact that we're so powerful, we're so able to accomplish things, and we know we are, like we're conquering different things that that our backgrounds had never even been a part of. And so now that we're conquering, we know we're moving forward, like being the first black president and all the all the good things. We're just gonna keep moving forward. So I feel like the fact we're putting so much emphasis on us, we're not taking away from nobody else, but we're putting emphasis on us because we are us. We can't help that. We rock for us harder than people rock for themselves. Like we can't help that. But it's not up to us to go and celebrate y'all because we're celebrating ourselves either. Like so, you can't expect us to do that.
Right. Yeah, I like that answer, man. Taney, what you thinking?
I'm gonna definitely agree. We do focus on ourselves because that's what, like Drea said, social media shows us. That's what the media shows us. That's what we were educated on. We wasn't educated on different races, like the Jewish people that what they went through, concentration camps. We don't focus on Middle Eastern women, what they go through. So yeah, we do focus on ourselves. So I definitely agree with that. But there are other races that went through way worse. So I'm not gonna sit here and categorize the mistreatment, but they went through a lot too, and they still too till this day. So yeah.
Right.
Well, I agree as well. We do focus on ourselves, but I honestly have to say we do because it's personal to us. We see it, we experience it, and not everybody experiences it, but through a way. And a lot of the things that we went through, publicized and made money out of. Some things, I know as far as like some of the issues that people went through and they made money out of, a lot of them may have went through their cause, whereas a lot of the money that's made off of us may have not, because a lot of that could have fixed a lot of issues and the things. So I think we do focus on ourselves, but then another reason I think of it is because a lot of the BS and things that we've gone through from before are still happening now. And even in lynching, why are we even thinking about it or even considering that? Because even the brother a couple of years ago was almost lynched, or even though people lynched as late. So I think we focus on ourselves more because we're going through a lot of stuff from before now still, and we shouldn't be. Whereas a lot of other people that are dealing with stuff is being forgotten, and a lot of the issues happening overseas right now. A lot of those are recent, which is sad and it's messed up. But a lot of them are recent compared to what we went through way back and still dealing with right now. And not to hold them longer, just to touch on real quick from the quote that you said earlier, because it was really on my mind. Because me as an entrepreneur, and that relates to me nowadays, is really not sacrificing money or submitting the money. Because I've seen like during the COVID time and things like that, I made a lot more money because the people that I was dealing with and my customers, they were making money as well. Compared to when nowadays it's like I'm trying to fight or having to get out of a job just to survive because we are doing for other countries that we're not doing for our own. So when you mentioned that quote, that's what really made me think about. That's what really stuck hard to me and even put me into this what we're going through this era now, if that makes sense.
We see that a lot. Like living in America, we always be like, why are they giving money to everybody else when we have all these problems right here? Ukraine, Iraq, Iran, you know what I'm saying? Just all these places, you know, and you're like, why are you giving all? And they have it on the TV right in our face. It's like they're playing in our face. Like you just gave 3.5. Go ahead.
Not to cut you off, the thing that hurts me the most is when even going for Biden, the blacks did so much and they wouldn't need to for Biden to win. And then right after that, not saying that what other people are going through are not messed up, but even what the Chinese go through, for them to get that much package and get that much support. Whereas they're saying the issues they were going through is like we weren't going through that too and before, and we weren't getting no support for that. And for them to get that big support right after Biden was elected, after the blacks did that for him, that really hurt me as well. So so I'm sorry, I just had to mention that part.
Nah, I feel that. I feel that for sure. Yeah. I'm definitely, I don't really pay attention to politics too much because I'd rather not get myself started and mad all the time. But it's like that, you know, where for the longest time I felt like the government didn't affect me. I don't know if anybody else felt like that. I just felt like I was living life. I had nothing to do with the government. Nothing they actually did really made sense to me and affected me, you know, until certain things did, you know. Nikki, what you got on your mind?
Well, y'all done said a mouthful here. So I'm gonna start with the lynching on there. So I think that the reason why Black people in particular and the country also focused on lynching is for Black people is because it affected Black people disproportionately, right? So we were relatively 13% of the population, but 90% of the lynchings. So that's a one thing right there. Similar to police brutality. When people talk about, well, why do Black people keep continuously talking about police brutality and the need to, reform police in the United States, when other people encounter police and have these negative reactions as well. But that's because it disproportionately, that number is very key there, affects Black people. More often than not, they are the victims of state violence, right? And so I think that that's one thing with lynching and why we talk about it. And so at the same time, Black people, yes, we should acknowledge other people's plight that they have. But if we are going to lift as we climb, we need to lift, right? We need to lift ourselves up out of that. We need to talk about the issues that are important for the Black community if we are to help or acknowledge other people. Remember that air mask, when you go on an airplane, they tell you to put the mask on yourself first, right? Then put it on your children. And I know a lot of parents are like, wait a minute, time I want to save my baby. You can't save your baby if you can't save yourself. So hence, that's why we kind of talk about issues that are important to the Black community and we put ourselves first because of that. Regarding the idea of government and its impact and aid to other countries, I'm not going to go too much on that because that's a whole nother topic. But we do need to understand that, right? History and government are intertwined and government is in everybody's lives, whether you want to believe it or not, and it impacts you daily. One thing to think about is this slogan, this saying, it's a dog eat dog world. The United States is a government, its job is to protect its citizens. Now, how it treats its citizens is a different topic. But if you always remember that its job is to protect its citizens, you look at how it interacts with the rest of the world, keep that at the forefront. If I don't go out here and give aid to these other countries and these countries band together, they can't come over here and take your freedoms. They will come over here and take your freedoms. The only thing that has separated us from the rest of the country, honestly, is the oceans. But with technology today, we don't, that barrier is broken. They can send a missile at the drop of a push of a button, you guys. So for the longest time, the one thing that protected us was we had an ocean on each side, and all of the wars were fought in Europe. We hardly have had any wars fought on this soil because the United States has been the big enemy of the world. Because the United States has said, you know what, we're going on the offense, not the defense, and we're going out here and putting places and putting these things here, there, and there. It is problematic, do not get me wrong. But again, the reason why you are sometimes able to sit on this platform and call out that problematic part is because they have done this, because they've given billions of dollars to other countries to make sure that they stay out of our country, that they remain our allies. It's all, y'all run streets, you know how the street work. You pay Peter, you pay Paul, you pay all these people, even though they're your enemies, because you got to keep it moving. It's just like that, just like that.
That's why the ops flip with the ops. All right, so you know, Willie put, you know what I'm saying? You know. All right, notable people from a couple of groups that we're close to and similar to. The Native Americans, you got Geronimo, Crazy Horse, and Sitting Bull. With the Hispanics, you have Porfirio Diaz and Benito Juarez and Pancho Villa. You know, Pancho Villa, and I learned about him not in school, but through my actual friends in the neighborhood, because I grew up in Southern California, and you know, there's a lot of Hispanics there, and they have a store called Pancho Villa, right? And people will walk around with this guy, and I was like, who is this guy? Thinking he's a president or something, and the whole time he was a revolutionary. So how is it that we could walk, how is it they walk around with the revolutionary right on their shirts and nothing ever happens? But if I walk around with Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or something like that, they look at me like, why you got that shirt on? So it's almost like they're not educated enough on their rival, you know, or maybe they put in a bigger impact. So I'm gonna let y'all sit with that a little bit. As far as freedom, right? I don't know if everybody has kids or just, you know, younger relatives. Ace, will go with you, sir. When it comes to the word freedom and teaching freedom in your personal life, what is one thing that you'll teach first to someone that you're teaching freedom to?
I'll be teaching my son, teaching him freedom, be having your own, like, not working for anybody, trying to have your own business, get your LLC, start something up, figure out something you want to do, like something like that. Like that to me would be me teaching him freedom, the best way of freedom in this day and age. Financially, being financially free seems like the closest thing to freedom. And it sucks to say, but being financially free, like having the money to take care of all the responsibilities I gotta have done. Like if I'm good financially, I feel like I can go travel and move around, be everything. So yeah.
For sure. Taney, teaching someone freedom, what you teaching them? Stop shine, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Ace because we have to teach our sons financial stability. Like, you know, we lack it so much. The fact that we're in our 30s and plus, we still learning how to save a coin. So for them to learn that at a young age, they can probably conquer almost the world. So I would definitely say financial stability and learn how to invest. That's the main thing I would teach my sons.
Yeah, it gets better and better each year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sid Tawag, what's up, man? You're stewing over there.
I don't have children yet, but what I would teach my what I would teach my godson, which my best friend is also doing, is like a panel says, financial stability, book smart, and learn the laws. Because with him knowing the laws, especially in knowing the laws as police, he won't get manipulated or caught up in any BS. And then with the finance, just to be able to stand on his own, because you never know what may happen or what may happen with the government or anything. So if you need to go overseas or to do whatever, at least you have this, the financial stability to do it, because money talks right nowadays. Right. And that, and then just being book smart overall. If you're just able to just read and just keep knowledge, because even I'm a videographer and photographer, so every day I have to learn new stuff to keep being as good as a videographer or photographer. And whether it's technology, technology, whether it's software, things of that nature. So if he can instill those three things, then I think that he'll be he'll learn a lot more about freedom going forward.
Definitely. I know one thing, like, I got a son also, so like my mind is overloaded with lessons because I have uncles, cousins, everything, like, so it's almost like I don't know how much I could cram into you at one time, you know what I'm saying? So I've been learning the pace lessons, that I've learned over life, and one of the biggest things that I've been teaching my youngster now is about like credit for the future. I was telling him like how typically in our community, we put bills and stuff in our kids' names and mess their credit up before they even know what credit is. Whether the reverse for him is he has his own credit card, that he uses for, I don't know, you want to buy a toy or you want a candy bar or something, whatever he want to use it on. So I'm like, all this spending that you're doing, you're not going to pay attention to it now, but later on when you get older, you're going to have good credit and you're not really going to understand why, but then you're going to look back and be like, oh, that's why dad did that,
Nah, you're right on that. And that's what I actually forgot too, because I'm actually doing my own credit right now, learning the base. So yeah, that is another.
I'm actually doing my credit too.
Right. I never cared about it.
Like my people that I mess with, I'm tight to. I'm like, all right, let me do this now. Because if I'm doing with that, then I can learn better and then help my people out, so that that's a big behind feed all the people doing.
Right. One thing my pops always taught me is you can't really teach a black man to be a black man. You have to experience it. You got to experience being a black man. So he would tell me stuff, what I might encounter and all that, but you can't really walk with me and teach me what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna pass down the lessons of my grandparents and my dad as much as I can, but the experience is the best teacher at the end of the day. So Nikki, unpack. Let's go.
Listen, I think it's super, it's interesting how everyone said that one of the things that freedom that they would pass down is financial freedom. As July 4th approaches us tomorrow and we think about the founding of the United States, interestingly enough, some people argue that the founding fathers actually broke away from Britain because they wanted financial freedom. They wanted the ability to be able to make money themselves. And the whole reason why we have the Declaration, the tax, right? And the reason why we even have the the Constitution and the way that it's framed, if you study constitutional law, is to protect property. Property meant the ability to make money back then. That was the way that you made money, through the various property that you have. And so part of me is chuckling over here because as melanated folks, right, the first lesson of freedom we want to pass down now is financial freedom. And I'm like, yo, how do we get ourselves into this? Because, the founding fathers, one of the pieces of property that they really kind of wanted to protect was us. That was their financial. All of the founders, all of the first presidents were slaveholders. They were, capitalism hadn't really, it was developed, but it wasn't what it was today. And it was on the backs of slavery that capitalism really did develop. And so today, one of the ways that we find ourselves to be free, you mentioned this, oh my gosh, it was just like you said, one of the ways to be the most free right now is to be financially free. And so we found ourselves in this matrix, unable to unplug, But one of the ways that you can unplug a little bit is through capitalism. So I do the same thing, you guys. And my kids, listen, I'm teaching them financial freedom. I'm teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. They have the green light card, which, you know, if you have kids and maybe you need it for yourself, shoot, I don't know, but it helps you with saving. It helps you with investing right in there. Sorry, I'm just saying, like, for real. You can basically say, when I get my money on this card, I want a certain amount to go to certain things. It shows you your investing. It shows you your savings. It shows you all of those things. It's very, very helpful. It's called Greenlight. I do not work for them. I don't endorse them, but, you know, it is very helpful for children, maybe for some adults. Unfortunately, that is the way today. Freedom, financial freedom is that one thing. But Tawag, you said something too, though. You said that mental freedom. And that's another thing that I want to kind of teach my children is how to think for themselves, right? We're living in the age where everything can be manipulated. All information can and will be manipulated. You will not be able to tell a deep fake from the real thing in a few years. And so I'm trying to teach my children discernment, whether it comes from social media, whether it comes from their teachers, where it comes from me, right? How do you shift through all this information and make judgment for yourself? So those freedoms.
Yeah. I'll say what's one of the biggest things, like what information is good, you know, because like a computer stores everything. A computer doesn't decipher what it needs and what it doesn't need. It just takes everything in. But as of us, if I don't need it, I could get rid of it. I can forget about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, but due to another conversation, technology being advanced, you know, these days, it's starting to get more like us because we're teaching it how to be like us. But that's another walk in the park.
Real quick, to piggyback off what Nikki said too, and since she's talking about technology, I would give a quick tip as well, because I actually, I don't know if anybody heard of Aurora, AURA. So I use that, and it basically watch over my background, stuff on the black market as far as my credit card, my finance, license, things like that. And one thing I like about it is you can put children that's under 16 on there. You can put their social, because nowadays you know that they can put their stuff on the black web too and do all type of crazy stuff with technology. So that actually helps protect them. So if I put my godson, everybody that's dealing with my family under that, because it's free. And I have the family plan, so that comes free with that. And then I can put them all under there where you can still watch them and make sure they're good.
Can you put that in the comments, what that was? AWAR, I didn't catch that.
No, I got you.
That's pretty dope.
Right. One thing is we can't progress unless we come together. Now we all on here, we know that it's a lot of shenanigans on the app. We all see the drama and stuff that goes on here. But one thing that we don't look at is the dollar amounts, right? Think about all of us, if you put all of our VIPs together, you know, all of our spending, all of our doing, we have control of the market, right? If everybody stopped gifting, if everybody took their diamonds and gave it to one person, like when I originally started my family, every month, what we would do is we'd swipe for $100 and draw a name out of the group, right? And drop everything on that one person, right? Then their name comes out the pot, you know, and we just move on. You know, there were streamers on here that used to do stuff like that too. You know, it might be looked at as a lottery, but at the same time, look, I got bills just like you got bills. And that one cash out, you know what I'm saying, you know, $300-400 could really change somebody's life, especially when it's a drop in the bucket, because we could do that in 2 minutes on here. Somebody could swipe and do that in 2 minutes and it's gone like that. You know what I'm saying? So just little things like that, the black dollar, you know, or just the tag dollar, what we should say, you know, how many people can you feed with one VIP swipe? So just a little bit. When I see people on the street, I always have like a couple bucks in my wallet to be like, here you go, because I know that I didn't spend plenty of money on something that I didn't need to. But we having fun, right? So why not? All right, before we get up out of here, we always come to this part of the show where we ask our guests, give me your dragon, you know? Just go ahead deep now. But do you guys have anything to contribute to the stream? We could start with Ace, since we right here. Just anything on your mind. It doesn't even have to be related to the topic, and it's not an outro, so you don't gotta be like, "Oh, I'm Ace, y'all follow me."
Um, I think these topics that we've had today, kind of everybody like perceives freedom to be something different, and I think with just because somebody looks at freedom a different way than you, doesn't make you any less free than them. Some people, like I got told today, like sometimes homeless people may feel like they're free. Like they feel like they're going through life and they're not having to deal with any of paying bills, deal with going through stuff like that. But at the same time, even they're not free. So, but it all depends on how you perceive it. So everybody just like be chilling where you at in your life. Basically, that's what I'm just trying to say. Just like be okay with what you're doing in the strides that you're taking because you're moving at your own pace and your own pace is okay.
Definitely, definitely. Tawag, let's get you out the way, bro. I see you cooking right now, man.
No, I was just keeping the Nikki thing. Honestly, what when you were saying that, something that popped to my head is like I know with this era right now and with the economy, and especially with election coming up, a lot of people are going through a lot of financial turmoil and a lot of BS, especially the entrepreneurs. I feel you because I've been working for myself for almost 10 years now, where I used to couch hop. But to make it quick, the thing I want to say is, like, really just don't give up because me being a Muslim, I'm actually what I make salat now. I pray and I pray every time. I try to pray every time. I try to pray every time. I know everybody is not religious, so even just them believing themselves and just keep doing it consistently. I know a lot of times head is hurting, a lot of craziness going on. Like I have 30 million projects going on in my head right now. It's like if you really sit there, and it might be stressful, if you really sit down and every day just say, I'm gonna knock this out, I'm gonna knock this out, keep knocking out little by little, then you overcome so much. Right now, I've overcome a lot that was really kicking my behind, and depression was creeping up on me because of that. And then now I'm actually out of it to the point whereas I'm setting myself up whereas I can make at least 10K a week off of the things I'm gonna be doing. So I'm saying to say that hurted me for like 2-3 months. And the thing is, the last thing I say, the things that's in the past, don't even really stress on it right now because even during like the whole COVID time, like I said, I'll make a good money and I was helping other people out. Like honestly, if I had the money I loaned out people, which was at least 10 to 15,000, then I wouldn't be dealing with a lot of stuff right now. But I can't really think about a lot of that right now because not that I can grasp onto that money or do that right now. So I have to move forward and think about what I need to do to get out of this or do what I need to do. And then you never know, some of that money may come back or come at a time you're not even thinking about it. I refinanced my car, and then I just got a check from my old company for like $300. I'm like, oh, I need $300 to pay one note. So, like I said, a lot of things pop up and come up. So I just been experiencing it. So I think that some people may have, but not saying it. But if you have, trust me, it's gonna get a lot better.
Taney?
I'm gonna make mine short and sweet. It's a little off topic, but it starts at home. Reason why I say that is because if we start teaching our youth, the future is gonna be different. So we need to really start investing in our youth and really start changing the game because the world is here and
My
sky's the limit. Seriously.
Right, he was standing right here listening to everything.
Yeah, mine's is getting a little rowdy. So,
but one thing that even my son taught me, I used to listen to, I still listen to him. I can't think of his exact name because I listen to so many podcasts, but he would talk to you about being rich and becoming rich and being rich within yourself and financially. And because I know music is powerful, I used to drive my son to school listening to rap, right? And one day I pulled up to his school, and one of the songs I was listening to, he was like, yeah, we gonna spin the block on, or something like that. I was like, oh. So I started listening to my podcast because I'm like, we're just gonna listen to this just so it's something else playing. And one day I didn't listen to it. And he was like, Dad, can we listen to that one guy that tells us how we can become rich? He said, I was like, what one guy? He was like, the guy that tells you to clear your mind, refocus yourself, And then he also tells you how to get a big house, you know. So I'm like, okay, you listening, you know, and here he peeking around the corner right now. But yeah, you know, I realized that they pay attention to everything. They actually listen and pay attention, even though it might seem like they don't, because we were kids at one time. We ignored our parents. We didn't like them at some point in our life, you know, but we understood what they said and we listened to what they taught us. So Nikki, go ahead, your view, your contribution to the stream today.
Yeah. On this day, well, let me look at the year. 1844, we had the first African American lawyer, the first person out there who said, you know what, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna try to do this, I'm gonna try to fight for freedom in a different way in the legal stage, the political stage, if you will. One of my things today is, you know, depending on your belief systems, your values, the way you live your life, you may or may not participate in government. You may or may not participate in voting. But we do have an election coming up, November this year. If you don't vote, then at least educate yourself on the issues. I know some of us believe that presidential elections don't matter, those type of things, but there's an election every year. You can vote for your mayor, you can vote for the sheriff, you can vote for the board of education, you can vote for the way that your house is assessed, taxes, all of those things. Every year you can do something local. So please go out and inform yourself. At the end of the day, I tell people, you know, be agnostic when it comes to politics. Agnostic is like, I don't know if there's a God, right? I don't know if there is, but there's no real way of me knowing this, right? I cannot know this, but they have faith or belief in what they do know or something like that. So it depends. Be agnostic when it comes to politics. You don't know if your vote counts. There's no way of you knowing, right? But you do know that if you don't vote, it definitely didn't. That's just really what it is. You definitely know it didn't do anything, but there really isn't a way for you to know. So at the end of the day, go out there and make that difference and that change the way that you can. As melanated folk, there are a lot of people who did die, who did sacrifice their freedom so that you do have the freedom you have today, which is to be able to sit here, have those discussions about it. So in the way that you can make a difference, make that difference.
Right. I wanted to do like a on this day kind of thing, but when I started looking up on this day, it was too many. And it seemed like every year somebody melanated tried to do something the day before Independence Day that impacted our future. So I'll just leave that there, that they've been doing it all the time. And the podcaster, I had to look him up real quick. His name's Myron Golden. So I don't know if any people are familiar with him. Myron Golden, yeah. So I found him randomly one day, and I'm just listening to him here and there. You know, you take what you want to hear and you leave the rest, you know. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming. Chrissy, thank you for not telling me how to pronounce Taney's name. So yeah, guys, you can do your outros and everything, you know, and make sure you guys fave the boxes. You know, check out Nikki 24/7 Mondays at 11 p.m. Eastern for empower her through history. All right, yeah. Just in case you don't say it, right? Yeah. Thank you. All right, Taney, you could go first since you.
Oh God. It's Taney, part of Spade Nation, you know, and N4W. Sorry, I stream often. Mostly every day. I don't have a time yet. I'm still working on it. And yeah, go tag.
Go tag.
That's all I can come up with.
Right.
Oh, and granted, this is my first featured show, so shout out to you, Chrissy, and 6'5", Nikki. How you pronounce that? I'm sorry. Tawag. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Ace, you already know the vibes. Right. Okay.
We didn't this show is broke plenty of cherries on the app, you know. Yeah.
And I'm gonna take my exit on that one. Thank you.
Is me next?
Yeah, go ahead, Ace, because Tawag got a lengthy, he real lengthy, so.
All right. I'm Ace. I started March 1st. I started streaming. I started my family, Spade Nation. We are a group of family people that want to stream and love on each other and support each other. You see them all in the chat. Like we gonna continue to grow. You gonna see us around. Um, I stream daily. I do morning streams, afternoon streams. I see my name right now is Stoney's ABC. That's because she took my 6 milli. But my name is Lonely Ace, just a spade. But I appreciate y'all. This also is my first feature show, so I appreciate y'all for having me out. Ace for top badge. I'm working on getting my face.
Admin's another cherry. But before you go, bro, before you go, one thing that sticks out to me the most about your name is, I don't know if you know, but a derogatory term for Black folks used to be spade, right? They will call us spades, but also spade is the highest card in the deck and it's black.
That's why I did it. It's the highest card. Ace is the highest card.
Background.
When I want somebody kicked out, I always say Joker because they know Joker's in his deck.
All right, Nikki, what you got, Nikki?
All
Yeah,
right.
we're gonna leave you for last, sir.
Like you said, absolutely empowered through history. Mondays at 11 p.m. Check me out. I will be having Empowerment the Conversation, where ladies just sit around and we talk about the talk. All right, that's coming soon. But I just got to get my times right because, you know, when I'm a teacher and when I go back to work, sometimes the shows be showing and you got to make sure you're consistent. So check me out. Mondays at 11, Wednesdays at 1 here. And yeah, catch me when you can everywhere else. This has been great. This has been amazing. I love it. Mir, you doing the damn thing with the history, and I love it. Keep doing what you do. It's amazing.
All right. You're amazing too. Well, all you guys, you're all amazing. Hey, sir, what's going on?
You know what they say, stay the best for last. But TawagCEO, forgive my mumbling and buffling and all that craziness, but I don't really do shows like that. Threaten me, and I'm actually trying to get into doing shows and things of that nature. So that's why my words are a little muffled. But I am also Mir's videographer, so I do all the shows that you see on YouTube. I'm the one that edit them after he done the gun in my head. Then I edit them. And thank you, Nikki. But TawagCEO, I'm a businessman in the streamers world. Most likely you see me done video or graphics for one of your favorite streamers or one of your ops. Forgive me for that, for your ops. And all my clients out there, love them to death.
You the cameraman, man. You can't pick sides. You just gotta make your money.
No, right? As long as they pay, right? And like I said, like Nikki said, you're doing a great job, Mira. I'm glad to be a part. You overall a great person, because we talk off of this, and it's like when we get off the phone, it's like, damn, I want to go talk to my mans again, because it's like we always have a great conversation. So I definitely appreciate that, especially like yesterday, just taking time out and just dropping that little knowledge on it. And definitely learn from me like I learned from Nikki as well.
That's what's up. I appreciate it, man.
The last thing I forgot. I gotta cut you off though, but luckily I can edit it out. I know a lot of people are not religious on here, but I'm about to make a lot, so I'll make sure I keep y'all in my prayers, because everybody needs it sometimes. So if anybody is going through something or anything like that, then just know that you're gonna get through it no matter what. Especially if Mary is crazy behind it.
Now get out. All right, y'all, we're going to be back next week. And remember, time brings joy, time brings pain, and time also brings renewal. You know what I'm saying? We'll be here again, How Times Change.